Avoidant regret. When does it actually hit? Here's the truth. Almost never when they walk out. It hits when the relief wears off. For most avoidants, that's months in, with the strongest window between month 4 and month 6. For some, it takes years. For a few, it never surfaces out loud. But the dangerous part is what the waiting does to you. Every silent week starts to read like a verdict on your worth. You count the weeks since the last message and treat every late-night story view like evidence about your future. Here's the contradiction at the center of this case. The calmer they look, the less that calm tells you. Their calm is real. It is not the verdict you think it is. Let's go through this month by month, starting at month 0. The head start. Every avoidant breakup has a stage nobody sees, because it happens before the breakup. While the relationship was still alive, the leaving had already started. Affection became an obligation. Ordinary needs, a plan, a conversation, one honest evening, became demands. Warmth appeared when nothing was required, then vanished when the moment asked for definition. Finally came the line, "I just need space." What you didn't see was the rehearsal, cataloging incompatibilities, flattening the good days, grieving quietly without calling it grief. The person who initiates the ending walks out with a head start because they've been leaving internally for weeks. So when they seem over it within days, you think it was never real. But they didn't grieve faster than you. They started earlier, where you couldn't witness it. Their speed measures their rehearsal, not the depth of the bond. That brings us to month 1, the relief that looks like proof. Month 1 is predictable and brutal to watch. They don't fall apart. They get lighter, calmer, strangely productive. They post like someone who's put down something heavy, and every photo lands like an exhibit for the prosecution. The breakup didn't just remove you, it removed everything loving you asked of them. Being known, showing up after conflict, staying present when closeness got real. Their nervous system had been pulling the emergency brake whenever the road asked them to steer. The breakup stopped the car. Of course they feel relief. But look closely at what they're relieved from. Not your face, laugh, or loyalty. They're relieved from the pressure of being met by your honesty, consistency, and willingness to repair. The qualities you've put on trial made the room too bright for them. Feeling better after escaping closeness isn't proof the bond disappeared. It's proof the anesthetic is holding. You don't become a burden because someone had no room for the weight of being loved. If this is speaking to the exact place you're in right now, take a second to like the video so it reaches the next person stuck counting silent weeks. Subscribe if you want to follow the next case, and tell me in the comments, which part of the timeline are you in? Your experience might help someone else recognize where they are and feel less alone. Now for month 2, the story hardens. By month 2, relief needs a narrative. Small, clean, repeatable. We were incompatible. I was never really happy. Nothing could have fixed it. You may hear it through mutual friends, sanded smooth and made inevitable. Good memories flatten, your tenderness becomes pressure, solvable problems become proof the whole thing was doomed. If the breakup was unquestionably necessary, doubt never gets in. And I'll give it to you straight, some breakups are right. An attachment style doesn't cancel a legitimate reason to leave, but a story built to prevent doubt is not a court record. It's testimony from a witness protecting themselves. Here's the month 2 detail most people miss. Your availability keeps their story stable. If you're still hurting, hoping, and reachable, they get all of the distance with none of the loss. They're living in the gap between leaving you and losing you. Being edited out of someone's story doesn't remove you from what actually happened. Month 3, the anesthetic wears thin. Around month 3, freedom stops being new. The quiet stops feeling like victory and starts feeling like quiet. This is when suppression starts to cost. They can keep the separation locked out while life stays easy. Add stress, loneliness, or a rebound going nowhere, and the door starts leaking. Thoughts of you come through like smoke underneath it. You won't see this stage from the outside. It's a normal Tuesday, but inside, the price of silence has risen. Suppressing a bond was never a one-off payment. It's rent, and the rent just rose. They didn't start caring in month 3. They became less able to keep the caring out of awareness. Time didn't build the bond. Time wore down the wall around it. For you, this is where hope gets dangerous. A midnight story view, a 2-word text. The clue was real, the conclusion was not. Missing you isn't understanding you. Longing isn't accountability. A crack in the wall is not a door. And their missing you never upgrades your value. You were worth the ache the whole time. That leads us to month 4, the first flicker. This is where the file fills with contradictions. One night they draft a message. By morning, certainty returns, and they delete it. A song ambushes them in a supermarket queue. Grief becomes irritation before the chorus. From your side, every story watched, no message. A vague, "Hey, hope you're good," with no apology. Warmth at midnight, detachment by Tuesday. They come closer when you ask for nothing, then retreat when closeness returns. Their bond and their defenses are taking turns. The attachment activates. The vulnerability trips the alarm. The defenses slam back down. It's rarely calculated. It's a tug of war inside one person, and you're the destination of the rope, not the referee. Here's where the fantasy becomes dangerous. They don't yet miss what it cost you to love them. They miss what your love did for them. The steadiness, the understanding, the self they became in your presence. They miss the room, but haven't faced how they treated the builder. Watch for the tell. No apology. No naming of what they did. No question about what the silence did to you. The nostalgia arrives alone, traveling light. The bond can be real without being safe. So when the 11:47 message lands, don't answer it like it's an apology. It's a flicker, not a return. Being remembered isn't the same as being valued, and you deserved both. Across months 4 to 6, that flicker can deepen into the window where regret is most likely to land. If avoidant regret has a window, months 4 to 6 is it. Not because a timer goes off. Anyone selling you an exact week is selling folklore. It's because the conditions converge. Freedom has gone ordinary. The rebound has shown its limits because the problem travels. The clean little story has started to thin, and you've changed. You're no longer pleading or waiting where they left you. For the first time, the comparison runs honestly, the relationship as it was against life after it as it unfolded. That's when the thoughts they'd been outrunning arrive. They knew me better than anyone has since. I thought leaving would fix the feeling, and the feeling followed me. What if closeness was never the trap? Distance stops working as protection and starts working as deprivation. Losing the pressure meant losing the person. Perhaps it lands in somebody else's flat, halfway through a conversation that never goes as deep as yours did. But here's the finding almost nobody examines. Regret isn't one thing. There are 5 kinds, and only one of them matters. Emotional regret. I miss what we had. Situational regret. Life was easier with them. Romantic regret. I still love them. Defensive regret. I hate that they've moved on. And accountable regret. My behavior helped destroy something valuable, and I can name how. The first 4 can knock on your door. Only the 5th can build anything. Recognition is meaningful. It does not make someone safe. If the ache hits in month 5, it changes their nights. It doesn't automatically change their range, and it changes nothing about you. You don't become more significant on the day they finally miss you. Beyond month 6, the timeline begins to split in 2. One timeline moves towards integration. They stop needing to make you the villain in order to live with the ending. They can admit that the love was real, the relationship had value, and their fear played a part in losing it. They may return with accountability, or they may accept that the damage cannot be undone. Either way, the bond is finally being faced rather than managed. The other timeline remains trapped in deactivation. They function, date, and appear to move forward, but the attachment survives underneath. You resurface during lonely nights, anniversaries, periods of stress, or in the shortcomings of somebody new. They may watch from a distance, send nostalgic half messages, or return briefly, then retreat the moment closeness becomes real again. Sometimes the pattern repeats in another relationship. The beginning feels easy because intimacy has not yet asked much of them. Then the connection deepens, the same alarm sounds in a different room, and they discover that the feeling they blamed on you traveled with them. And sometimes they continue suppressing it indefinitely. They may never consciously name their regret at all, but whether they integrate the loss or spend years outrunning it, neither timeline measures what you were worth. Only one question matters if they return. Have they merely felt the bond again, or have they finally faced what they did to it? And the final part of the timeline, beyond a year, the two clocks. Past 1 year, separate two clocks. The pain clock, acute distress, which usually settles within months, and the bond clock, attachment, which can outlive the grief, the rebound, even the next relationship. One study found attachment after long-term breakups reached its halfway point at roughly 4 years. A person can look completely moved on and still carry you underneath the functioning. But don't weaponize this against yourself. A bond surviving inside them is not an invitation, a plan, or a return. It's wiring, and wiring makes no promises. Don't turn the 4-year figure into a waiting room. Understanding them is not the same as being chosen by them. You can live in someone's memory for years. Don't let that be the only place you live. Which brings us to the question that actually matters. You think you've been asking, when will they regret leaving? Underneath it sits a more painful one. What does it mean about me if they never do? Here's the finding, and take it as a verdict, not a comfort. Their awareness was never a measurement of your worth. Their defenses can delay, distort, and rewrite the loss. None of that edits what you brought. A blindfolded witness does not change what happened in the room. You weren't rejected for bringing too little. You may have been left for bringing too much emotional reality into a room built for low light. Your depth was not the crime scene. The relationship's inability to hold it was. Their retreat doesn't prove you were too much. It proves the room was too small. For months, your loyalty has been standing in the dock while their fear watched from the gallery. Wrong courtroom. Case reassigned. Final findings. What was true? The bond, the relief, the midnight flickers, all of it real. Your love was valuable before they left, while they felt lighter, and long after, whether or not regret finds its voice. What was not enough? A bond without safety, wanting you without accountability, missing you without the courage to repair. None of it becomes enough until the fifth kind of regret proves itself in behavior. What you stop doing now, reading their calendar like it's your trial, that timeline measures the lifespan of their defenses. It was never measuring you. So here's your instruction. Take your loyalty, warmth, and patience off the evidence table and spend them where they're answered. If regret knocks, open the door only if it arrives holding accountability. Until then, the only timeline that needs your attention is yours. I have been the Relationship Detective, and thank you for watching. If this helped you see things more clearly, please give it a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. I wish everyone watching all the best, and I hope to see you again in the next one.